So let me tell you a story about why your guy Mike is in a bee suit and what's happened. Well, first off, we got this bee suit because Jen doesn't like wasps, bees, any of that stuff, and we don't know if she's allergic or not because she's never been stung in her life. I got lit up by yellow jackets when I was like 5, and so I know I'm good. And I also have a healthy respect for wasps. You know, I was afraid of bees until like high school. Now I just let them do their thing, and that's cool until they decide that they're gonna use your house as part of their base of operations. And so what's happened is this place here has a stone tower, and normally in the past, you know, I typically just do the yellow jacket nest in the ground, dump some gas on it at nighttime and light it on fire, and problem solved, no more yellow jackets. But you can't exactly do that when it's your house. So this is the area, and I have to use my phone, unfortunately, with bare hands because these bee suit gloves are very thick. Here's a pair right here. That you know, if it comes down to it, I'm throwing the phone in the pocket and I'm throwing the glove on real quick. But they let me pretty much like check them out, watch them. But I know it just takes one dude emitting a pheromone and they're gonna light me up like no tomorrow. So we're just gonna try and, you know, show you guys what's happened. So to eliminate them, I got insecticide powder, really good recommended brand from Bayer, Delta Dust essentially. And this stuff kills them, most of them within 2 days. And I applied this around, I don't know, like 1, 2 in the morning, something like that. Might have been, no, it was earlier than that. It was probably around 10 p.m. So we're like 15 hours into this process. And as I'm sitting here, you can probably see them. That's their hole right there. They like to come in between the stonework and the wood of the house, and that's where they go in and out of. And you can see I powdered the crap out of this. I had a ball applicator with a stem, and that dude down there is not having a good time. He is really caked in the dust. You can see he's pretty white. They are very agitated since I have put the powder down here, so I'm not going to get up in their face for obvious reasons. If I had my gloved hand covered up, I'd probably feel fine just shoving my cell phone down there. But when I'm doing that dust applicator, I've got a little rod on it that will fit down in that crevice, and I just lit that whole thing up around 10 p.m. last night. And of course, even though it's evening and they're low activity numbers, they still came out and swarmed me. And you know, yellow jackets have a good reputation for being mean, and it's pretty applicable to them. So yeah, there's that dude down there. He's totally covered in that powder. But they take the powder back to, you know, they get it around other bees, or wasps in this case, and they will essentially just share, taking that through their tunnels. And it worked really great for the ground wasps. But there was an unintended side effect of doing this, and that is, I don't know where all these bees go. I don't know where these yellow jackets are hanging out once they get inside the house. So let me show you what has transpired. And no, it takes 2 days to kill them all. We're not even a full, what are we at? We're like 15 hours at this point. So these guys are just ticking time bombs. They're just going to be dying off. Queen hopefully will get hit and she'll die too. The directions say come back out in 48 hours and reapply. And then at that point you should be good, but you can do another 2 days after that and reapply. But at that point, when you're 6 days into this process, everyone's going to get nuked. And this colony, as you can tell, even with some of their numbers dwindling from the insecticide, they're very active. This has pretty much been like a superhighway. I can watch them, my kitchen windows right around the corner, not even around the corner, just a few feet behind me. And you can see these guys just constantly zooming in and zooming out. And you can see them here just with me talking, just so you can kind of get an idea of the activity. So we're going to back up very slowly because they do track sudden movements and they get nervous if you move really quick around them. That's my kiddo Oops. So yeah, there's that front door. That's the front door. Of course, no one ever goes to it, thank God. The UPS dudes go to the side. And there's my kitchen window right there. So I can pretty much see what they're doing as far as flying in and out. All right, I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna show you from down. That section there starts going into the basement where they're coming in at. So check this out. On an unrelated note, this is over by my pond. There's I'm doing a gazebo re-roof project right now. I see this is work in progress, but right by where all the work is being done, if I just get myself to where I can see my phone screen because the sun's bright, there is another yellow jacket. This one is an underground tunnel, and it is right there. So these guys, there really isn't a good way to try to do this here, but we're just gonna sit right above this. There's a tunnel that goes a ways back and into the ground. This is what yellow jackets typically would do. And so this one also got powdered because, again, Jen's never been stung, and these ones are actually pretty docile as far as yellow jackets go. I think my buddy who came down to help out with demoing the gazebo roof with me ran the garden cart over their hole. I think that's the most pissed off I've seen these guys. They came up and swarmed around, but nobody got stung, thankfully, and we just kind of left the area until they calmed down. But you know, here we are a few feet away with ladders and tools, and they've been pretty chill. But they also got powdered up, and hopefully they'll be exterminated soon. Okay, now, as promised, and this is right by my pond, man. This is where I like to chill. I don't need yellow jackets in my chill space. All right, now we're gonna go walk to the basement, which I told my wife this morning. I left a note on the table. I said, do not go into the basement, like danger. So imagine waking up and your husband left you this note. Do not go into the basement unless you wear the bee suit. Danger. The poison powder is killing the yellow jackets, but they are coming into the basement through a crack behind the old projector big TV. They're crawling around, and some were flying. At least 50 plus corpses were scattered around. Did you read this? Check. V8 drinks are in the kitchen fridge. I got 3 for you, top shelf. Have a great day. So, Jen goes down to the basement to get V8s before she goes to work, and I didn't want her going down there. All right, so now let's go look at the basement. That's the crazy fun of this, is what happened. I went down there after just a few hours after spraying or putting the powder in, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. So the basement, we don't have air conditioning in our house, so the basement's kind of like the chill spot. I'm in Pennsylvania. And so we have our exercise equipment in here that we've been doing. We've been working out again. And our computers for video gaming, essentially, are down here as well. And so take a look. We're just going to walk around. So I'm just coming down the stairs. Here's the basement. The point of entry for them is, that's the stone tower that you saw. And in that crack there is pretty much the closest point I have, or that corner, we'll call it a corner, right there is where they're going to be. And it's behind this TV. I pulled it out. So we're going to go, and I think I'm going to try to have this, it shouldn't lock my screen, and I'll probably just edit out the fact that I'm going to put a glove on, because I would just like to be a little bit more comfortable. All right, now I've got both hands are gloved, so we can get in their face if we want. So I use that to scrape them around and kind of like clean up some of the corpses a little bit, and you can just tell they are in the process of dying. Some of them, most of these are corpses that aren't moving, and I wish I could change the zoom for you, but these gloves are thick, so I can't get any of my magnetic properties to disturb the cell phone screen. But yeah, you can see them crawling around here. A few of them are going to croak off eventually. That's the ones I kind of scraped out of the way just so I can move the TV back. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of yellow jacket bodies there. You know, just kind of, this dehumidifier, survey the scene here, and I don't want to step on any of them because they'll put out that little hurt signal and they'll start flying to get aid from their buddies. Well, their buddies will come in and help them. That's the nearest light that is in the basement, and you can just see, I'm gonna carefully walk over here so you can kind of get an idea how many of these jokers are up there thinking that they're gonna get outside. And hopefully that shows up okay on here. The bee suit mesh makes it so I can't really see the phone screen all that well. And then over in here, anyway, there's some light you can see, especially if I get out of it. This is the megacorp, so this is where they are entering into the basement, and you can just see here, that is all dead yellow jacket corpses. And I did spray my mix of Dawn soap to water, which if you don't know about that, don't buy the sprays in the store. 1 part Dawn to 3 parts water, put it in a spray bottle, and you will essentially be able to coat their bodies with that Dawn soap mixture, and they'll suffocate really quickly. It works better than the dang sprays, and then I don't have to worry about chemicals indoors. It's just Dawn soap, so it makes it really easy to clean up later. So I'm just going to be down here with the vacuum cleaner later after all these guys have died, and hopefully, you know, a couple days. But this is the state of my basement, and they are, you know, moving around a good bit down here. They're kind of interspersed amongst my exercise gear, resistance bands, some weights. There was a couple that made it over to my computer gaming chair. Well, it's really an office chair, but it's my computer desk chair. And then back in here, I've got my worm bin set up. So that's right there for the worms. I didn't think they would make it this far back, but I was pleasantly surprised. Well, not really pleasantly, more like slightly annoyed that they are also on the window back here. Rough count right now, I see at least 5 crawling around, and there's none on that window right there. So the ones that could fly well enough to make it back here, they're trying to get out from there. So that is that. So now that I'm not in their face anymore, I think I'll take my glove off. So yeah, that's pretty crazy stuff. And I had no idea that when I put that powder in there, that I would essentially cause them to like spread out and come into the basement area. They typically have not been coming into the basement. They stay outside for the most part. I gotta go turn that light off. They have been, I mean, like when we first got the house, we had a wasp a day, 1 or 2 wasps every day, different varieties. We had the European great hornet, or sorry, European giant hornet come in. Sorry for the lack of light. We'll get light in a minute. We've had yellow jackets, bald-faced hornets, the regular paper wasp dudes, and so that's been some fun stuff. And I sealed up. I got some spray foam insulation and sealed a lot of the cracks, and then we weren't getting any wasps. And then these yellow jackets moved in, and they haven't come in to the basement. I mean, we might get like one every once in a while. We'll get a mysterious yellow jacket that just shows up, and now I know why. But they've typically haven't been coming in like this. So that powder, I guess, is causing them to, I don't know what exactly about that powder has made their behavior change like this, but the fact that they're coming into the basement is a little crazy. So how's that for a nice bee update? Well, I guess I'll probably get more stories with Castle House over time, but that's the story for now. Peace.